In a world where men make songs about ponies, comes the Brony Musician Directory interview.
Hey guys, this is the Free Wave. We are firing back up the Brony Musician Directory slash FimMusic interviews, which we put on hold a long time ago. We did an interview with Eurobeat Brony, and we did one with Stars in Autumn, and then we stopped doing them. And you know what? Now that we've launched the FimMusic Tumblr, we thought we would start those up again because they really don't take that much time, as long as you don't spend hours on the YouTube like I was doing. So we're gonna try to do these a lot more frequently, talk with a lot more people, and hopefully they won't take anywhere near the amount of time that we were personally spending on them. And they'll be a nice thing so you can get to hear some of your favorite Brony musicians tell a little bit about themselves, about who they like in the community, and just what's going on in their lives and any projects or events that are going on. One of the first people we are going to talk to is going to be Evdog.
Hey everyone.
And we brought him on tonight. He's running two events simultaneously.
Yep.
One is doing fantastic, I think. I'm always seeing people in the chat. The other one is needing a little bit of help. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's talk about the New Sincerity event.
So a little while ago I was doing a bit of research and I found out that the whole love and tolerate mantra that's in the Brony community, you know that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's turns out that's a subset of a cultural movement called New Sincerity. So I guess we didn't invent it, but we did make it popular. So I decided to make an album centered around that mentality, that theme, that idea, in a way that everyone could understand that, not just Bronies, although pretty much everyone that's currently on this album is a Brony.
We like that.
Yeah, definitely. It was originally going to be a solo album, but then I decided, hey, why don't I get a bunch of collabs on this thing? And then I decided, hey, why don't I just let other people make tracks as well? And it's turned into all three of those.
And you've actually, for this album, you've actually got it sectioned off into 4 parts, correct?
Yeah, general idea was that I wanted to make it so on one hand it wasn't everything's all sunshine and smiles, because there are times when, you know, there are rainy days, there's times when things are dark and lonely.
Luckily, I pulled it up, so I'm just going to read it through, since I know you might not have that right in front of you. So
no, I don't.
Part 1, the world that we can see, it shows no authenticity. It's the melancholy section. The world is uncaring and cruel. You can go into the world sucks, fight the man and the system and the motif.
Yeah.
Part 2, we want transparency without snide irony. This would be the upward change in tone. It reveals hope, that we have the ability to affect it from the inside. Life sucks, but we don't have to perpetuate it. We can fix things.
Yeah.
Part 3, no shallow vanity. We value our humanity. And that's just the frustrated, annoyed voice of the person that's decided to be genuine, but still has people around them acting cynical and sarcastic still. Wow, I know that.
That's probably going to be the biggest quarter of the album.
Yes. And then part 4, let us set it free, a kind of new sincerity. Yep. Like part 2, this is the part of the album that's uplifting. It responds to part 3, saying that cynicism is going to die eventually. You should enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're having a really good turnout for this. I know you've got a lot of collaborations and tracks already mapped out yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I've got about 7 or 8 songs that I'm planning to be a part of.
Wow.
And there's about 30-something people in the group chat for it. Okay. So it's probably going to be pretty big. I doubt it'd be as big as, I don't know, like Balloon Party or anything, but it's still going to be a decent size.
When is the deadline for this?
So it's officially started, but the deadline will be around early January, probably in the first week of January. Haven't decided an exact due date yet.
Okay.
But after that, there'll be like revisions and stuff running, and it should be released around about early February. I encourage any other musicians, or even just like singers or rappers, or even if you're not necessarily a producer or can't do anything, you can always collab with people.
Yes. I know one of the things that you do that is one of the key advantages you have is you do a bit of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Which is something I really appreciate, that you can pick up your guitar and do a singer-songwriter song, you rap, you are, I think, still one of my favorites in terms of sampling odd fun things either from the show or from just an interview with Daniel Ingram. Let's talk about you briefly, just in terms of your favorite tracks that you've worked on that really sort of state who you are as a musician, that you could say, okay, these are the ones I'm most proud of. Which ones would you put out there? Say, hey, if you need to check out if you haven't heard my work before, these would be the ones.
Wow, that's a really hard question to answer.
I know. I'm springing this on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I generally, if someone's asking, what could I hear some of your music, I ask them what their favorite genre is, because that,
that's kind of key.
Yeah, all my songs are very different from one another. I'd have to say, though, I liked October Sky. That ended up getting a lot of popularity.
Yes, yeah.
That is meant to be a sequel of The Living Tombstone's September. Yeah, I got people like Automatic Jack on that track, and it turned out reasonably well. I got a song called I Don't Hate You, which is a happy, upbeat folk song about Pinkie Pie.
I loved your Rainbow and Rooted track.
Oh, thank you.
I thought that was fantastic, and you went a bit everywhere with that, and it was just such a wonderful collab too.
Yeah,
so.
I got there was 6 people on that collab. Pretty much everyone's got a solo on that track. I just said, here you go, here's 19 seconds to do whatever, come up with whatever you want. And so there's a lot of originality, a lot of awesome stuff in that track, and all of the instruments were actually, played by people, wasn't synths and stuff, so it has that really authentic feel to it.
Let's talk about Winter Wrap Off. It's needing a lot of help.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we went ahead and reblogged your cry for help, the YouTube video.
Thank you. So Winter Wrap Off is a monthly rap competition, a Brony rap competition. There's a theme for each round. People make a rap and a beat. People can collab with that as well, based off the topic, and then the winner is decided by people voting on them, and the winner gets a small prize, gets a bit of advertisement by being the winner, and yeah, I guess it's similar to Toast Beard in nature, if you've heard of that.
Okay.
It's monthly instead of weekly, and also there's a small prize, and that's sponsored by Fractured Frequencies Radio.
At this point, if people want to get involved, they have to get involved now if they want this to continue.
Yeah, because in the last several months, and even back in 2012, when it was running, people were only hardly anyone was actually submitting. Very few people. I think the greatest we ever had was 8 entries, and that was the very first round back in 2012. And since then, it's just very few people entering, on average 2 or 3, and some rounds there's no one entering, which is really annoying. So I'm giving this one last round, and if things don't improve, I'm just gonna finish it up.
Pull the plug.
Yeah. Or if someone else is willing to run it instead of me, I guess I could give it to them. But I just really don't want to be a part of it if it keeps on if it keeps on bombing like this. Understandable. So if you like rap music, if you can do rap music and you want to keep this going, it is absolutely imperative to get involved this month. And we need to drum up interest for anyone who is slightly interested in taking part, because it's now or never. So, what musicians would you like to throw a shout out to that people should be listening that might not be? Got a few people.
Okay.
Automatic Jack, I've done a lot of stuff with him. He's an awesome guy. Jesse Carlson, he does a lot of ska music. He's got an awesome Flim Flam cover That's it just sounds awesome in ska. Matthew Mosier, who's an acoustic artist. He actually, I met him like when I had no subscribers and introduced him to My Little Remix, and now he's way more popular than me.
And he's fantastic. I just love how he started on My Little Remix with us. I mean, we grew up with him. He was in our class, basically. And he actually succeeded and yet didn't let fame get to him. And he left for a while, and thank God he's back, because when someone leaves from our community, half the time we don't expect him to come back, and he's finally back and making music again. So that's awesome.
The last two, they're more like they make more ambient type music.
Okay.
That's Kyoga and Resonant Waves. They're both really good at what they do.
Kyoga's moderator on My Little Remix now, and God, the guy is so knowledgeable. You talk with him about music and he'll just blow your mind. Such a student of music. Evdog, I appreciate you coming on at such a short notice and being our first interview. And thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see both of these events continue. I know the one's doing fantastic, and I hope people come out for Winter Wrap-Off. Not just keep it alive, but actually nurse it back to health.
Yeah, thanks for being on here. See ya.